Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I am so excited to share with you the 5th update for my Pan Those Eyeshadows project Pan. I have just been feeling so inspired by this project and I am so thankful to my friend Alexi for starting it a couple years ago. When I watched her doing this series, it was like, how the heck is she hitting pan on so many shadows and how is she doing this? Because Alexi loves playing with color and she does so many just amazing eyeshadow looks, and I am so happy to be doing this project myself, inspired by her. So definitely go and check out her channel, and I feel like this project has just grown so much over this year as well. Like 2019 there was tons of people that hopped on and started doing this project, myself included, and 2020 has just been remarkable. So I'm actually going to link some channels of some of my friends and other content creators that are doing this project down in the description box if you want to get inspired by this project. I constantly just feel like I'm so excited and so exhilarated to keep working on this project when I watch somebody else doing an update. So I'm gonna share the love. Definitely go and check out some other channels and maybe you'll meet some new people that way as well. But I am just so excited to share with you guys all of my progress that I've made over the past, let's be real, it's been like 5 weeks probably since I last updated, but that's okay. I have a lot of amazing progress to share with you, so let's just hop right into it. So the first shadow I want to share with you comes from my Melt Cosmetics Gemini palette. I have had the shadow that I'm working on in this for 3 months now, and the shade that I am working on is called Gemini, which is the name of the palette. And it is the rose gold kind of coppery shimmer in this palette. And as you can probably see, I did manage to hit pan on it over this past month. It's right here, kind of just offset from the center. And the reason I was able to hit pan on this, quite honestly guys, is because this shadow is very crumbly. That's like the only way that I can really describe it. It isn't very densely packed. The mattes, however, are very dense, but that shadow and this one here called Goals, they're not the most densely packed shimmer shades. They're quite a flaky metallic. So I was always kind of smushing, like, I want to go like swimming. I was like smushing the product around in the bottom of the pan, or towards the bottom of the pan rather, every time I used it. And I did actually end up using this one time this past month as a nail polish. I used a sponge tip applicator to do that because I was finding the brush just wasn't picking up enough product. But a sponge tip applicator is so good with this, especially for the nails. But I did try it a couple times on the eyes with a sponge tip applicator and it was definitely better than applying with a brush, that's for sure. Anyways, I digress. Let's get back to what we're actually trying to talk about here. And I used this 4 times this month in order to hit pan on it. One of those was applying it as a nail polish, so that uses quite a bit of product. And I had altogether in this project used it 14 times. I had used it in the past before this project as well, so it wasn't like a brand new eyeshadow by any means, but I'm really happy with the amount of uses I got out of it, the amount of progress that I made, and the amount of like fun looks I did with this as well. It was really exciting for me. Remember when I rolled this into this project, I was like thrilled, so thrilled, and it is really beautiful. I'm really happy that I was reaching for this palette as a whole and reaching for this particular shadow as well, and I'm really happy I'm going to be rolling something new in its place as well. The next shadow I've been focusing on comes from the Revolution Soph X Extra Spice palette, and let's just get into it because this palette packaging is so dang reflective and I keep staring at it in the monitor. And the shadow that I've been working on is a light brown shade, a light brown matte shadow, which is called Cookie Dough, and I'm sure you can see from afar there. I did manage to hit pan on it this past month. It really, like, I knew it was gonna happen because even in my last update, I thought that I might end up hitting pan on it when I was swatching it to share with you guys what the color looked like. Didn't hit pan on it then, but 2 additional uses is all it took for me to hit pan on it. So in total, I did use this 10 times throughout this project pan, which is on par with how long it took me to use Chocolate Orange as well, which I focused on earlier on in this year. I think that took me 11 uses, and it's just a really good transition kind of shadow on my complexion. I just find it is really nice to provide a small amount of definition without being heavy on my eyes, like especially in my crease and on my lower lash line. I loved wearing this on the lower lash line to give subtle definition, but nothing that felt too heavy or intense. I only used it 2 more times. I really only used it, I think, the first week after filming my last update, and I haven't reached for this palette since then. But again, I am really excited that I have another pan in my collection, and the opportunity to roll in another shadow too. The next shadow I've been working on comes from my ABH Norvina Volume 1 palette, and the shade that I've been working on currently is the yellow shade, which is this one right down here called D1. It is a yellow matte shadow and it's absolutely beautiful, but I have not yet hit pan on it. There is a little bit of a dip happening in it, like it's definitely disturbed and it definitely looks like I have reached for it and used it, but I don't think that it looks like I'm anywhere near hitting pan. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's that one right there. And I honestly feel like it's going to take me an eternity to be able to hit pan on it. There is a little dip, as I hope you can see. It's going to take a long time because I did reach for it 7 times this month. Let me check my numbers. I can't quite remember for some reason. Yeah, I used it 7 times this month, 6 times last month. So I've used it 13 times so far in this project. I am super close to reaching that 15 use threshold, which is where I personally like to potentially roll shadows out of this project around that time. But I think I'm gonna try to persevere through this shadow and try to actually hit pan on it. So next month, I will definitely hit that 15, I can't keep it in frame. This palette's so big. I think I will definitely hit that 15 use threshold for the 3rd month of this project. But I think this is something I'm going to keep in, especially because that matte yellow shadow is just perfect for this time of year. It is what I'm wearing today. It's kind of like all over my entire eye area right now. I had it like from lash line up to basically almost my brow bone, and then I blended everything out and I added another shimmer on top of it. So there's a swatch of the shade right there. It is not like a true primary yellow shadow by any means. It does have a little bit of a mustardy undertone, and this color is just so flattering on my personal coloring, on my complexion. I find that it just looks so lively and it really like awakens my eyes and my skin because I do have a lot of warmth in my skin, and it just complements me very well. So I am really happy to be reaching for it and loving on it and using it, and hopefully we'll be able to hit pan on it soon. I just realized that I had my laptop open behind me and you could actually see it like around my chair, so my apologies if that was kind of annoying or distracting. I moved it now and we can move forward. So the next shadow that I want to talk about comes from my Sleek Eye Divine palette. This is the Storm palette. And the shadow that I've been working on is called Perfect Storm, which is a beautiful, light, rosy, metallic shade. And it's so beautiful, and I have hit pan on it as well this past month. I used it 9 times this month, which is more than I generally ever reach for any shadow in this project. Like, I think like 5 to 7 uses is usually what I do in a month. One of those times I actually did use it as a nail polish. I forgot to take a picture until like day 3 of my manicure, and it didn't look so cute by that point, but it really made a beautiful nail polish color, and that's how actually that time was when I hit pan on it, because you use a lot of eyeshadow when you're applying it as a nail polish. So as you can see, the pan is pretty significant. I'm really happy with this. I'm really happy to see this palette getting used and loved and enjoyed so much more. So here's a swatch of what the shade looks like. It's just so beautiful. I loved wearing this primarily on my lid, but it was a little bit too deep for me as an inner corner highlight, but I did use it that way a handful of times as well, just to make sure I was reaching for it. Such a stunning, brightening, awakening shadow on my complexion, and I just absolutely love it. And the final shadow that is currently a part of this project pan is the Colourpop and Kathleen Light's Dream Street palette. This is such a good little palette, and I'm really disappointed that this is no longer available anymore. The shadow that I'm working on is this gorgeous, like, satin. I don't even know how to describe this finish, quite honestly, but it's like a satin peachy beige kind of shade. It is so beautiful. It's called Moony, by the way, and I just absolutely have fallen in love with it over this last month. Like, look at that. It has such high intensity shine to it without having a ton of base pigment, and I've used it in such a diverse amount of ways. I'll show you guys what it looks like first though. So here's what it's kind of looking like now. There's a decent sized dip. I really don't think that I had a ton of progress on this prior to having it in the project, and I've actually used it 16 times this month, which is wild for me. Like I said, I usually reach for shadows like 5 to 7 times in a month. 16 times, but that's because this was something that I could really integrate into basically any look at all. Today I'm wearing it on my brow bone and on my inner corner underneath of like an actual highlighter shade as well. But that's how I've been wearing it pretty much every single day. I feel like it just really brings a lot of lightness and brightness to my eye area. And when I rolled this into the project last update, one of my viewers actually suggested and said that they absolutely love using this to kind of help blend out any other eyeshadow, especially like shadows in the crease that are a little bit patchy. And I have come to fall in love with this shadow for that, because the sheen that it has, something about it when you kind of use it to blend and disperse over a kind of patchier kind of crease or transition shade, it just makes it look so seamless and so diffused and just so like effortless, and it helps the light really bounce off of that area and not look so patchy and dry and choppy. It really is so special and really, really good for that sole purpose. I freaking love it. I love it so much. I'm so happy that I've been reaching for it. It is absolutely beautiful, and although I have used it 16 times, I still need to keep it in the project for at least 2 more months before I am able to roll it out, so I know I will be able to hit pan on it by that time for sure. I am so excited because I did hit pan on 3 shadows from my selections. I will now be rolling in 3 new ones to this project pan. So I have the Pretty Random app open and ready. I have variables 1 to 272 in the spreadsheet. I have 272 eyeshadows that are eligible to be a part of this project pan. Basically, that means I have 272 shadows in my collection that either don't have pan on them, aren't a part of a project pan currently, or are my liquid eyeshadows. So yeah, let's just draw 3 new shadows to focus on, and I am so excited to see what I'll be working with this next month. So the first shadow, oh my gosh, is going to be number 26. Next will be number 74. And lastly, we have number 246. So I just want to grab all the shadows, and the first one that I pulled is from my Fenty Beauty Galaxy palette. The shadow that I pulled from this one is called Milky Way. I haven't actually looked at which one it is yet, but I assume it's like the white shade. And yeah, it is. So Milky Way is this one right here. This is such a stunning shadow. Let's swatch it. Let's play with it. It looks like it's kind of a white beige kind of color. Oh wow. Seeing it in comparison to Moony, they're extremely similar, except this one just has more glitter. It definitely has like a green and blue glitter to it, but the base pigment is quite similar. I don't think I'll be able to use them in the same fashion though, because of that glittery aspect to the Fenty one, but I'm really excited to integrate this into some looks, maybe to amplify that brow bone or inner corner highlight when I use Moony. That'll be a lot of fun. This shadow is really not looking all that well loved, and based on my experience with panning the other 2 shadows in this palette, it is definitely going to take me some time to hit pan on it, but I'm really excited to be integrating this into this project pan. And my next shadow comes from the Juvia's Place, the Zulu palette, and it's shade number 1, which is the bright matte orange shade right here. I had this palette in this project pan last year. I was working on the matte yellow here, as you can see, and it was a struggle to be able to actually like hit pan on it. These are very pigmented shadows, and these pans are so dang huge. But I'm really excited to be integrating this into this project pan and just to be using this orange shade through the summer. I do feel like it's very fitting. I'm really excited about it. I love oranges, and I have that yellow to work on. I think these are going to be so good together, so I'm really excited about that. It is going to take a while. It's going to take a while for sure to be able to hit pan on it, but I'm really excited to be jumping into this palette. I've actually been using this palette every once in a while recently, just because these are such perfect spring summer shades, and this palette just honestly inspires me. I love this color combination, and I've been reaching for these 2 shadows right here, these 2 metallics. I've actually been mixing them together quite a lot. I'm sure you can tell in the pans that I've been mixing them together, and it's such a beautiful palette, so I'm really happy that this is going to be prioritized, and hopefully I'll have a second pan in it very soon. I have a feeling you guys are kind of gonna think I rigged the shadows that I'm working on for this update, because the last shadow actually comes from another Juvia's Place palette. This is my newest Juvia's Place palette. This is the Magic Mini, and I can't even believe that all 3 of the shadow palettes that were selected for this update are from Black-owned beauty brands. I feel like that is just like divine intervention. Like, what is that? It was just like really cool to notice, and I'm really excited that I'm going to be working with this palette. The shadow that was selected is called Oh Sun, and I haven't actually looked in this palette yet to see which one that is. It is, oh, ooh, it's a beautiful shade. It's this like pearly light pink shadow. I think in the viewfinder right now it kind of looks like it's white, but it's a pearly pinky shade. It's actually gonna give me kind of the same sort of vibes as the sleek shadow that I was just working on, but definitely more like bubblegum pink, and it pairs very well with this color story. I think these colors are very cohesive, and I'm really excited to have that in the mix. This is one of my newest palettes in my collection, and I did recently do a palette bingo. If you guys want to see Oh Sun in action, I feel like it's just going to be so perfect for this time of year. And this, honestly, this color scheme as a whole is going to be so perfect for this time of year. And I'm really excited for every single one of the palettes that I'm going to be reaching for the next foreseeable future. I have a feeling I won't be able to hit pan on any of the shadows for my next update. Moony is probably the only one that I can imagine being able to hit pan on. This one right here from Colourpop, potentially, but the dip is not like that promising quite yet. Like, I don't feel confident that I'll be able to hit pan on it in 1 more month, but if I amp up my usage, maybe use it 20 more times, it's possible. Either way, I'm really looking forward to using all these shadows and all of these palettes. Thank you guys so much for watching and for being here. I hope that you are staying safe both mentally and physically, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!